All right out there, what's going on? Welcome to another amazing, off the friggin' chains, post-to-post wrestling podcast brought to you by the Brothers of Discussion, Alexander Weatherman, and me, your boy drummer John. What's going on, gentlemen? How was your week?
It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't bad. All I know is all of my wishful thinking and predicting for the future of wrestling slowly starting to come to pass. Not quite exactly as I said it, but the things I said could possibly happen are slowly happening.
Yeah, we are definitely seeing some headway in the companies working together for sure. Freaking internet exploded this week when we saw Kenta arrive on the scene in AEW to beat the crap out of Mox.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
We'll definitely dive into that a little more here in a bit. But Weatherman, how was your weekend, man?
I ate a shit ton of chicken wings.
Fair enough. I was right there with you.
Chicken
Fuck some
wang.
football, but I love some wings.
Chicken wang.
Fuck some
I did
football.
learn something Saturday night.
What was that?
Apparently now, if I drink liquor and then drink beer afterwards, I will get a hangover now. I used to couldn't do that. It's a sign of getting old.
A sign of dehydration.
Liquor than beer, you're in the clear. Beer than liquor, you've never been sicker. Speaking of liquor, ODB is back in Impact. Look at that.
Oh, God there.
Ladies bits and grabbing her titties. You go, girl.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
The former Mrs. Eric Young.
There it is.
Married. I don't think they're still married.
Couldn't tell you. But since we're talking about some people that whose names sound like people that used to be in WWE, let's go ahead and talk about WWE for you, John.
Okay. Well,
Love talking about that, miss.
Grayson is on assignment this week. He's not going to be with us. So for those Grayson fans out there, I know you're out there. You're not going to be charmed by his voice this week. I apologize.
Yeah, we're gonna let the fun advertising segment take a break this week, so it comes back fresh next week. Yeah.
WWE, what's going on in the world of WWE this week? We had Thunderdome again. I was able to spot the douchebag in two separate spots during the same fucking matches, and yet I could not find myself. Unfucking believable. For anybody playing Find a Douchebag with me, you know I'm talking to you, Chapel. I appreciate it. I want more people to find a douchebag with me. He's there. We gotta make WWE recognize that that's some bullshit. You know, you gotta get the live people on there and not your pre-recorded motherfuckers.
I know. I took those images you shared on the Facebook page. I collaged them and put them up on our Instagram the other day too, and I said, "Fuck the canned images" or whatever it was. I forget what the hashtag I put on it was, but yeah, I was like, "Fuck that shit."
Instagram.
And then I tagged. Say what?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Then I tagged WWE.
Oh, nice. Well, that would explain why they're not showing me anymore. They're like, that fucking John Monier guy he's part of this. But yeah, I mean, that just pisses me off. It's getting to the point now where, you know, it bothers me, but I'm not as pissy. Like, I'm not going to get on my soapbox again because I didn't start screaming at anyone this week. I was like, I'm not going to scream at anyone. At least I'm watching it, and my kids and my wife are watching Grey's Anatomy. You know, it's all good. So fuck them. But
Maybe if you get enough people to raise a bunch of hell about you not being on there, maybe they'll get you front row seats in the Thunder Stadium for WrestleMania.
ooh, that'd be nice. There you go. There you hear it, people. Bitch about the douchebag being on there constantly, and not your boy drummer John. And maybe we can get me out to the WrestleMania.
You know, if we actually had sponsors and we actually were making money off of this, we could have done a promotion where everybody who finds the douchebag, we put them in a raffle.
One day maybe we'll have that sort of clout. One day.
Easy to find him. Like, he stands out now to me like the sorest of sore thumbs. Like, I could spot that motherfucker from anywhere now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just think the Thunderdome in general just looks stupid. Everybody just like, You know, it's like they're doing the Tusken Raider.
There are quite a few of them that look like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and I've been noticing that the people who are pre-recording, you can tell because they jump, like their screen image. It jumps a lot.
That's probably because they jumps as in jumps from screen to screen, or jumps like in the video feed.
In the video feed, it'll just stop and then go, like loop around to what they were doing before.
Oh yeah, it's all a bunch of jump cuts, so that way they're doing exactly what they want WWE to, like exactly what WWE wants them to do the entire time.
Yep. But then you can always sometimes find that one gem of a person who is just not into it whatsoever, and is just like, why the fuck am I watching this shit?
Mm-hmm.
And usually before they catch them.
I spent more time playing games on my fucking phone last night than reacting to the crowd. And I was doing the fucking whoop whoop, you know, when they wanted me to cry, you know, there's so-and-so, let's cheer for so-and-so. And I'm just like, whoop whoop. Literally like that. I was just so not into it. But it's fucking hysterical because not being into it, they kept me on the whole show. But being animated and bitching at them, they kicked me off and doing what they want. So... it's what it is. It's fucking. I'm gonna keep doing me.
Mm-hmm. Being a WWE whore and shill.
I'll still be in there, but my heart's not in it anymore. It really isn't. Having to watch motherfuckers in there. And Mexican flag guy is absolutely my next fucking douchebag. I have no doubt that he's pre-recorded also.
Yeah, let's segue over to the gentleman Albert is here, or whatever it is, 666, Mr. Stalker of the Week.
Albert Little 666 is this fucking dude's Twitter account handle, I guess. I don't fucking know. I'm not on Twitter.
Username, whatever you want to fucking call it.
But this piece of shit has been stalking Alexa Bliss. And I get it. She's hot as hell. But come on, dude. Don't be a fucking creepo. This guy's been threatening her and her fiance, Ryan Cabrera. And I'm going to admit right now, I know 2 of Ryan Cabrera's songs. I sing them both at karaoke. So, I'm cool with him.
That's 2 more songs than me, John.
This creepy fucker is saying that Ryan Cabrera has kidnapped her and is raping her. And earlier today, he put out another tweet that has authorities concerned. What was that one about, Weatherman?
Oh, it was, like he was outside of her house and did a hashtag let me in. This was just 2 hours ago. And my thought process is, you know, Twitter can ban the My Pillow guy, but they can't ban a guy actually committing a crime.
Mm-hmm. Harassing, haranguing.
And I don't care for the My Pillow guy, but seriously, this dude's literally threatening murder, rape, illegal acts that would get most people arrested. Maybe the FBI's too busy arresting everybody who stormed the Capitol. I don't know. But you'd think they'd have somebody looking into this.
You would think so. And where I get a lot of my news from is a place called Ringside News. And they've been doing a really good job of covering it. And they've been explaining why they're covering it. Because they want to bring attention to the situation, because it doesn't seem like there's any police involvement. So they're just, you know, they're documenting what's going on. They're talking about it without, you know.
On the other side of that, where is WBE in this?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Why don't you post Braun Strowman up in front of that house and see how fucking Albert Little fares against him?
He doesn't fare against him. That's what he doesn't. I answered your question.
You know, Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss are tight. We know this. So fucking put his ass there and let's see what happens. There's her built-in fucking security.
Yeah.
So hopefully they fucking catch this fucking creeper, and hopefully nothing happens to our goddess Alexa Bliss. But so I think that had a lot to do with possibly why she wasn't on TV this week. I know that this dude made a comment about her not being on TV this week, and was wondering, you know, if Ryan Cabrera was doing stuff to her. So, yeah, he's just a fucking creeper. Albert
Yeah.
Little, whoever the fuck you are, you're a fucking creeper.
Yeah, he's stuck in an echo chamber of his own fucking incel logic.
Something like that. I don't even know what you said, but okay.
He's a giant garbage person.
Fucking A.
The only Albert we love is A-Train.
A-Train, fucking A, all pierced up. Matt Bloom.
Good old Tensai.
Fucking A.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
A. So, it's with our deepest sympathy. We want to send thoughts and prayers out to the family of the Natural, Butch Reed, who passed away this week due to COVID-related illnesses.
Oh, no.
He was, for anybody who didn't know, he was one half of a tag team called Doom with Ron Simmons. They were just badass. He was a badass. He was a big dude.
Yeah. No,
I got a question for you two. I don't know. I've watched a lot of old wrestling. Which do you think was the better tag team for? I sent this in the Jim Cornette's drive-through. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be on yet, but who do you think was the better Ron Simmons tag team? Him with Butch Reed and Doom, or him and Bradshaw in the APA? Because Doom was a really fucking good tag team.
Yeah, they were.
Personally,
in WCW, they wrecked.
I'm gonna answer your question like this. One, I fucking hate Bradshaw. There's your answer.
On that same note, I am going to say that I thought the APA was a better, more marketable tag team. Doom was just fucking brutal.
Doom was the African American Road Warriors.
They were.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of, I believe, as we know, there's the Yokozuna documentary that was put out on the network, and I believe this past week they did a Ron Simmons one.
Don't know.
Because right around the time they shared the Butch Reed stuff, people were talking about watching it and how it covered everything, but they skipped over the entire Nation of Domination angle in it.
Oh, why would they do that? Farouk was fucking huge.
I saw the APA one. I haven't seen a Ron Simmons one yet.
It could be just APA in general, but why would you skip over, like, because they led up to it, you know?
Yeah.
And they talked about a lot of Simmons' career, but apparently they jumped over the entirety of the Nation.
Unless they're planning on doing one for the Nation.
They could, but I mean, if that's the case, then still give a little nugget. It's supposed to be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mention it at least.
Yeah, but apparently they skipped over it. I saw that on some different, posts here and there on the internet.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, but again, condolences to the family of Butch Reed. I have 2 Doom trading cards hidden somewhere here in the house.
I can honestly say that Butch Reed was the first African American I ever saw with blonde hair.
I would still say for me that was probably Wesley Snipes and Demolition Man.
I want to say they were out before Demolition Man.
They definitely were, but for me again, still yet. I know I saw some Doom, but I don't.
Doom started out in masks.
Yeah, I don't immediately.
They started out wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right, what else we got in the world of WWE?
We barely touched the surface of your big ass list that you made, son of a bitch.
Doom's first manager was woman too.
Well, goddamn.
And then they transitioned to Teddy Long.
6 degrees of Chris Benoit. All right. Next, apparently Sasha Banks and Kira Hogan got some beef.
Kira Hogan has got some beef with Sasha Banks and was calling her out on social media, saying that she's stealing her gimmick and the blue hair and blah, blah, blah.
Sasha Banks don't beat that ass. She an idiot. Sasha Banks been doing that gimmick for years.
She's had different hair colors, so I get where she's coming from, but I mean, the hottest flame doesn't compare to the boss.
No, not in the least.
No.
Then everyone's favorite non-wrestler now, apparently, Bad Bunny, has sold so much merch for WWE. It's sickening.
Yo, yeah, his first haul with the company sold over $500,000 worth of product. So now they gave him more. So he's got more shit at WWEshop.com.
I mean, he makes trash music, but he can do a damn good top rope splash to the outside. So
he's gonna have a match at WrestleMania. It is gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, like we said last week, he's already working at the Performance Center, so it's guaranteed. It's just, oh boy.
They were at one point they were talking about having him tag up with Booker T. Booker T saying that's not going to happen. The most logical person for him to team with is going to be Damian Priest.
Probably so.
So hopefully, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm Puerto Rican. They're Puerto Rican. I get it.
as long as they give him enough, you know, if they drill him so hard on the fucking basics to where he can kind of carry it a little bit, I'll be okay. But Priest better do most of the work and get the finish. If Bad Bunny gets the finish, I'll be kind of disappointed.
And it'll be against Miz and Morrison. If they have a match against anyone, it'll be against Miz and Morrison. So, I mean, spoiler alert, the Miz is not going to win the fucking Elimination Chamber coming up.
No, not at all.
So, and the Elimination Chamber is kind of stacked with heels. Because, I mean, they got... Drew McIntyre is going to be in it because he's defending his title in the Elimination Chamber. Then you got Orton, Miz. Shane McMahon came out and made a big friggin' announcement about it. So he said, let me see here. Okay, Jeff Hardy is the other face. AJ Styles, The Miz, and Sheamus. Sheamus wasn't happy about it because Sheamus wanted a one-on-one match, which I want to see him and Sheamus go one-on-one. So I'm thinking McIntyre's going to retain, and then he'll keep it to Elimination Chamber. But I'm feeling Edge versus Roman Reigns, although Edge went and teased on every show this week. He went to SmackDown, he went to Raw, he went to NXT to tease that he might go to any of those to go after the belt. Finn Balor versus... Edge, that would be an interesting matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I don't think it's going to happen.
It would be pretty interesting. Whether it happens or not, that's another thing entirely for...
It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening. It'll be Spear versus Spear. It'll be Sheamus versus McIntyre. And I have no idea who Drew or... if Finn Balor even have a match, because we've never seen the NXT title defended at WrestleMania.
It would be nice if it were to be.
So, I mean, there's that factor that could be involved. First time ever, Edge versus Balor, but I don't see it. I think it's going to be Roman and Edge, Sheamus and Drew, and I think. Finn Balor's not even going to be on there.
That would be super shitty if they cut Balor out of another Mania.
Well, it's not because of him. It's because of the title that he has. Normally they do an NXT takeover before WrestleMania.
Then they need to lump it in. I mean, it would only make sense. But, the main reason why that could be is because Vince. Vince is a dipshit. But, big funny news, apparently, rumor has it, maybe it's true, confirmed, Steph and Trips own more shares of WWE than Vince does. So, that makes them Vince's boss.
So this article I read, that SEC filings showed that WWE executives picked up a lot of company stock in February. Vince McMahon bought 19,875 shares, leaving him with a new balance of 89,496 shares. He wasn't alone, though. Triple H bought 5,644, meaning that he now has 87,046, about 2,000 less than his father-in-law. But Stephanie McMahon also picked up 5,644 shares, which brings her to a total of 82,000 42 shares. So that means the power couple
have
has
196 or
169,000 combined shares.
Yeah.
And Kevin Dunn has 81,000 shares of the Class A common stock, so he's got a bunch. Nick Kahn has some. Bradley Bloom has some. But yeah, Stephanie and Trips own more than Vinnie Mac.
If they were able to leverage that as a joint entity instead of separately, they would have a controlling interest in it. But since Vince has 7 some odd thousand more than both of them,
yeah,
he's still tip-top dog. But
yeah, he's still got more singular than any other single individual.
Yeah. Which, super annoying, but I still think they need to start throwing some weight around, since between the two of them, they could.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, from stocks and stuff, and other shit that takes drops and hits and everything else, we're going to talk about butts. Because John wants to talk about butts.
I do. I want to talk about Nia Jax's big old booty. So this week on Raw, there was a table match between Nia Jax and Lana. And during the match, at one point, Nia Jax had Lana set up to do a leg drop on her outside of the ropes, but on the apron, so that corner part, which is, you know, supposedly the hardest part of the ring. So she jumps up and she goes to do it, and Lana gets out of the way, and she lands on her ass. And she just starts wailing. She starts screaming, and you hear her go, "My butt!" And then after that, she goes, "My hole!" They wound up editing out, they bleeped over her saying hole in the YouTube replay. It made it all the way to like the New York Post. It got mainstream attention. She even got an offer for an ambassadorship to a bidet company called Tushy. Oh my God. It was fucking hysterical. It was so funny. I loved it.
I think this is one of those moments where we need to get Falcon to find that audio clip and play it. Oh boy.
For butt stuff.
Yeah. That's butt talk for the week. Butt talk.
Butt talk. And that has been Butt Talk.
Butt talk. Episode
Butt Talk with Drummer John. All right, what do we got next?
Let's see. You can go either baby time, firings, or trials.
Okay, so baby time. Eric Rowe and Sarah Logan welcomed the birth of their, I believe it was a boy, this week. So I want to give a congratulations to one half of the Viking Raiders, the one who is not injured, but we haven't seen him for a minute. Him and Sarah Logan, ex-Riot Squad, have welcomed a baby into the world. So congratulations to them. Weatherman was wondering if it was a Viking birth, and I'm wondering what exactly would a Viking birth entail.
And the baby comes out with a flagon of mead and a battle axe.
Yes, it was a baby boy, and his name is Raymond Cash Rowe. 8 pounds, 11 ounces, 21 and 3/4 inches long. He's a little cutie. I'm looking at pictures of him.
Oh,
God damn, she was in labor for 44 hours.
Fuck.
Damn, Sarah Logan, or Sarah Rowe now. You go, girl.
She a beast.
It was a Viking birth.
Yeah, no.
You ain't kidding, man. She had to grin and bear that shit for 44 hours.
Whew.
Oh, I got douchebag Tony Khan's on Impact again. Look at that.
Oh, boy.
Standing in the middle of the Jacksonville Stadium, talking shit about Impact. I fucking hate these paid advertisements. I fucking hate them.
Then just hit mute.
I hate looking at him too, because he's trying to play heel. and the facial expressions and everything. And if he's trying to get over as the person that you want to hate, it's working for me.
Are you watching this on television?
Yeah.
Do you have that button? It's a magical thing. It's called Previous Channel. You press it.
No, I'm watching it. I'm watching the recording of Impact because I started it late.
Then fucking fast forward, you rube.
Yeah, on the Roku, it doesn't work like that. I can't really see. But we got Kenny Omega versus Kenta. Kenny Omega and Kenta versus Mox and Lance Archer tomorrow night. Darby Allin versus Joey Janela for the TNT Championship. We have Chris Jericho and MJF with Wardlow versus The Acclaim. Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson versus Pretty Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Pac versus the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth. And Tony Schiavone yet again interviews Sting. Legit Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. That's going to be good.
That is going to be a good match. I like watching Layla Hirsch wrestle.
I have a question. Is the Cesar guy the guy that talks to dogs?
No,
it's not Cesar
Milan. Cesar Bononi was he was NXT.
Oh,
he's a former NXT guy who actually got to keep his name coming over here because he was Cesar Bononi over in NXT.
He was so not cared about they didn't even bother trademarking him.
Pretty much. But there's your AEW card for tomorrow night real quick. Enjoy. Right. We'll talk about it later. Trial. So we talked earlier in the year about the tattoos of Randy Orton. And
that whole lawsuit's a crock of shit. It really is.
He's getting sued, and WWE are getting sued because the tattoo artist is claiming that she never gave permission for her artwork to be displayed on video games, and she wants royalties. She wants money for it. And
she's not going to win.
I can't believe that they actually let this thing go to fucking trial, to be honest. Once you, in my opinion, once you put it on my fucking body, you have no rights to that shit anymore. You have been paid for. Yeah. It is over and done with.
It's just like, if the only thing that doesn't work with is like copyrighted material, such as CM Punk's Pepsi and CM Punk's Cobra logo. Those are copyrighted images by two major corporations. Yes, he owns the tattoos that are on his body, but he does not own those images. Thus, on any likeness of his, be it video game or action figure, they are edited out or changed to not look like those things. But unless her work was legit copyright, because Randy Orton paid for her to create a work of art to put on his body, he owns it now. He commissioned it from her. That means he is the owner of that piece of art.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to court in September over that. September 10th is what we're seeing. The woman, I can't remember her name. Was it Christine Alexander, the tattoo artist?
I think so.
Something like that. I know Alexander was her last name because that's Weatherman's first name, and that's why I remember it. But they're going to court in September over that shit, and you know what? I don't wish her fucking luck at all. You know, I hope she fucking loses because that's just some dumb shit. She's fucking stupid.
In all honesty, she does not have a leg to stand on.
You would think not, but you never fucking know. I mean, the good and the bad of American jurisprudence is you could fucking sue anyone for any fucking reason.
And lie about it.
Yeah.
It's true,
but I got a feeling Randy Orton won't be going to her for any more tattoos.
Catherine Alexander. Yeah, and it has to do with her tattoos that he put on her. It's original work that was put into the video game. So September 20th is the court date. It does say that she previously trademarked the design she inked on his skin. So
that
that's
could cause, if it's trademarked or copywritten, that could be a little different. Now, was he made aware of these things?
Randy Orton stated in a declaration in the case that he didn't know he needed permission to display his tattoos. He thought they were a statement of his own personal expression, but they are copyrighted images.
Okay, then that right there could prove otherwise. So now, what I was saying before stands, but since these are copywritten and trademarked images, it's definitely a totally different thing, and they're going to have to pay her some money if that's the case.
Apparently, they offered her $450 for the designs back in 2009. She is alleging that she had previously contacted WWE regarding material that featured Orton and his tattoos in 2009, and they offered her $450 for the designs, and she wanted more money.
So like she ain't been getting much business.
I don't know, but if any of y'all motherfuckers are thinking about going to Catherine Alexander for tattoos, make sure that shit ain't copyrighted, or don't get yourself famous.
Yep. So that right there, I guarantee you, before it goes full blown to trial, I'll bet it gets settled out of court.
Yeah, WWE will probably settle that shit.
And they'll pay her some money. Or what they'll do if they're smart, so they don't have to pay her a ton up front, is they'll just give her a cut of royalties, much like musicians get from like Spotify, to where every time it's shown, she gets like a penny.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't really do that because who's keeping track of who's playing what video game?
Exactly.
Actually, they keep track of that.
Big Brother's watching.
But in general too, this is just gonna. It's just gonna mean you're gonna get in the next video game. You're gonna get Randy Orton or blank arms. Just let the creative community build his tattoos.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, people will find ways to get him in there one way or another.
And then the figures will come out with blank arms, or they'll just come out with the old tattoos he had before he got covered up.
Before she added her shit to the mix.
Yeah.
This pisses me off. That's like me being a piercing artist. I pierce someone's septum. Now they can't be on a video game with the fucking piercing I put on them. That's fucking stupid.
I've got a copyright on that design of nose ring.
Yeah. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's just somebody fucking wanting to get a fucking handout.
Exactly. Everybody's out trying to get something out of somebody.
Yeah, money for nothing.
At times. All right.
It's the same thing when musicians started suing over copyrights for playing their music as entrance themes. Even though it got you exposure to people who probably would have never heard you beforehand, who the fuck cares? Pay me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, last WWE bit of information I want to touch base on is firing. Recent firing of one Steven Cutler. For those who don't know, Steven Cutler was part of that group, the Forgotten Sons, with Jackson Riker and Wesley Blake. And they brought him up to the main roster, and then they got booted from TV because of Jackson Riker's political tweets. So he got booted off of TV. Then they brought him back on the main roster with Wesley Blake and put him with Baron Corbin as the Knights of the Lone Wolf, is what they were calling them. And that was all well and good, but apparently he got COVID at a New Year's Eve party back in January, and Vinnie Mac got super pissed about it, and he wound up getting fired. So apparently he is the first person to be fired for COVID.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's all I can say.
So apparently Vinnie Mac made a lot of promises to other wrestlers on the roster that they would be safe and protected. People like Roman Reigns, who have compromised immune systems, and promised them that they would be safe and that other individuals will be safe. And this basically made him look like a fucking liar. And Vinnie Mac don't play that shit. So he fucking fired him. And you know who I feel worst for about this whole situation is Wesley Blake, because they got rid of a major angle because of him getting fired, because it was supposed to be Buddy Murphy, Dominic Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio with working against Corbin and the Knights of the Lone Wolf. But that shit all got kiboshed because dude got COVID and then got fired. So, yeah, it sucks.
They could just always get the Blake and Murphy tag team back together.
Not the same without Alexa Bliss. That's back when Murphy and Alexa Bliss were a couple.
Yeah, we just need a... Well, they need a new Ascension.
So, I read something earlier this week that Victor from the Ascension was initially going to be brought into the Wyatt family.
Huh.
Yeah, and then somebody literally said what you just said, Weatherman. Well, we still need an Ascension because they only had the other guy as part of the Ascension. But with Steven Cutler, his girlfriend is Deonna Purrazzo. So, it's possible that he could go over to Impact where she's at. The guy was with WWE for 7 years. I had no idea he was with WWE that long. But yeah, he was with them for 7 years.
That's a while for WWE.
Yeah, so I mean, that should go a long way if he can, get job elsewhere. Considering that his girlfriend is the women's champion over in Impact, that probably go a long way too.
It could very well.
Unfortunately, Zelina Vega, who was fired a while back, nobody has any interest in bringing her in. There has been no bites on her.
That surprises me.
That surprises me too.
Me as well.
I guarantee you someone will, but they're going to wait for her probably to drop her mental price on herself. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to wait her out a little bit till she gets a little more likely to accept a lower offer than what she was probably making over there.
Well, I guess since AEW spent all the money on Kenny Omega's bukkake shit fetish Japanese schoolgirls, he can't afford a decent wrestler.
Let's go. We're done with WWE. Let's talk about that shit.
Let's talk about shit and piss.
Jim Cornette fucking roasted that shit this week. I'm sorry, but Jim Cornette broke down the women's bracket of the AEW women's eliminator tournament, and there's like 2 girls on the women's bracket that are like, what are they? What would you call them? Japanese fetish wrestlers or some shit?
I don't even know.
No, it's the same girl. It's just one girl. It's Miki, whatever her name is.
Oh, Maki Ito.
Maki Ito, yeah. Like one tweet she put out was, I am the god of piss, or something like that. And then she put out another one with her draped in chocolate. Looked like she's got shit all over her. Says, I am the deity of shit. And this is not like some weird translation error. No, this is legit English she's putting out.
Maki Ito, she introduced herself to fans by saying, "Hello, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
Salty. I see the picture that says "Hello, motherfuckers" right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm the goddess of love and piss. Yep. I am a deity of shit. And she's covered in fucking chocolate bar.
Honestly, I'm excited to see what sort of bullshit comes out of this woman. It does not bother me at all.
I'm excited for it.
I'm not as much of a purist as fucking Jim Cornette is, so it doesn't get me butt hurt like that. But I am like, man, that's some shit that people aren't going to be ready for. And I'm wondering how many more times I can shoehorn the word shit into these comments for it to just really hammer home.
And you said too she was into bukkake too, right?
I don't know. I was just being stupid.
I mean,
I cannot deny nor confirm that.
They could get a tag team together called the Bukkake Bandits.
Oh God.
Oh God, with who? Who would be her tag team partner?
They got apparently Kenny Omega can find plenty of Japanese bitches for this.
Oh. Well, let's look at it this way. We'll go ahead and we'll walk away from the low hanging fruit, and let's go ahead and just go through the rest of who's over there right now. So the women's tournament is pretty interesting. I'm liking the fact that they've got the international bracket, and then they have the local bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Local being the stateside bracket. The weirdest thing about the stateside bracket is that Riho is performing on that bracket. Now, the only reasoning behind that is because Riho has a contract with AEW, so I believe that's what it is. But
nope, that's not it at all. That's not it at all.
I think it is. I mean,
no,
whatever
it's because she's stateside right now. They finally got her stateside. They wouldn't be able to get her back over there into that bracket of the tournament in time because she'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Got you. Well, I was just going to assume it's just as easy an explanation as saying she's...
Well, we all know it's going to be an all-Japanese girl final, and Omega's way back there in the gorilla position, just sitting there, just wanking it away, watching it.
Oh, boy.
And then I hope to God this girl pulls out a fucking turd out of her ass and smacks somebody with it. And then Tony Khan go, "What the fuck have you done?"
What? As much as you want that to happen, it's never going to.
Or might as well she'll just drop her drawers and take a shit in the middle of the ring and just shit on the entire wrestling business. 'Cause that's all they're doing anyway.
Oh, God.
Tony Khan is claiming now that he was the forbidden door that was stopping New Japan from working with AEW. He said that in his paid advertisement tonight.
That it was Tony Khan's fault?
Yeah, he's saying he was the forbidden door that blocked the New Japan from working with
That sounds like a really shitty video game. A villain quote: "I was the forbidden door."
It sounds more like we couldn't do anything until that one shithead wasn't president of International anymore, and now that he's not, we were finally able to work some angles. But to take it back to what I was going for, the tournament and the Japanese leg of the women's eliminator tournament. Of course, Weatherman's number one pick for winner, Maki Ito. Then you've got Rin Katakura, which is a representative of Marvelous. She also works for Pro Wrestling Wave, where she holds the tag team titles with another wrestler, Atsuki Aoki. Then you've got Mei Saruga, or Apple Girl, who is part of Gato Move Wrestling, which is Emi Sakura's promotion.
I got to move.
Yeah, Gato, Gatoh. Then you've got Ryo Mizunami, affectionately known as Aniki. She's apparently a veteran of the Japanese professional wrestling scene, so that means she's probably an older performer. Emi Sakura, who's the founder of Gato Move Pro, and we've all seen her. She is Weatherman's favorite Freddie Mercury impersonator.
God, I hope her and Tachi do a duet.
Maybe, you never know. Then you've got Vinny, who is known as the genderless professional wrestler. And
how can she be in a women's division if she's genderless?
I don't know. I don't make the rules.
I mean, at least Nyla Rose claims, what's the word I'm looking for? What do you call it? At least Nyla Rose identifies as a woman.
You're applying real world logic to wrestling. Stop. It doesn't work.
They used to do it. They used to do it. God damn it.
Key word there is used to, or key phrase rather. They do it at times. Let's just roll with it. Let's roll with it here for a second. But she's going by Veiny because she's in Japan. She's known as Asuka, so that wouldn't fly here. And then you got Yuka Sakazaki. Who
Yuka.
you remember
I thought
from
you said Yuka.
early.
She's the little genie girl.
Yep, the genie girl, one of my favorites.
The little genie girl.
And then Asha Khan is back.
Yeah,
Yay.
bringing her back.
So, I mean, I don't know much about many of them, but I feel that it's good exposure, with the exception probably of the goddess/deity of love, shit, and piss.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty good exposure for Japanese wrestling, women's wrestling. Now,
It's gonna be a shit show.
There it
could
is.
be that figuratively, or it could be that.
That's the name of the episode. It's going to be a shit show.
But I think it could turn out pretty well. I don't know. When's the first match in that? Is that tomorrow, or is it later
Yes.
on? Tomorrow?
Yeah, the Layla Hirsch match that I mentioned.
Well, that's in the
That's-
U.S. bracket. Are they doing one of the Japanese brackets on there too, or is that playing at a different week?
I don't know.
Because I
You know
know, as we mentioned last week, I believe it was, Hikaru Shida's already in Japan to
Yes.
basically oversee the festivities.
You know what?
She wants to see her competition.
They put Bull Nakano in this tournament. She beat the fuck out of one of them little sticks in that tournament.
Bull Nakano would be a ringer in her prime. Yeah,
Oh,
you
God.
you don't compare anyone to Bull Nakano. But
No, have you seen pictures of her? Like, she lost all that weight. Like, she
Really?
actually looks really good.
anywho, the stateside bracket, we already know Riho's in there. I believe Britt Baker's in it. Thunder Rosa's in
Yep.
it. Legit Layla
Yep.
Hirsch is in it. They're up for the first match for tomorrow. And I know Thunder Rosa's going to win, but it's going to be a damn good match because, one, Layla Hirsch for being like really green. That amateur background makes her look good in the ring.
Yeah, it does. She can move. Low center of gravity.
Yeah.
You know, 4'11" or whatever the hell she is.
Fucking 4 foot nothing. But either way, Layla Hirsch and her wrestling ability have impressed me. Plain and simple. I hope that she gets a good push moving forward. But already being in an eliminator tournament and even though it's definitely going to be a losing effort, being put up against Thunder Rosa in the first round is
Hold on 1 second. Aja Kong's 50.
Wow.
That
Bull
woman ain't
Nakano's
50.
Bull Nakano's 53, so she could probably still go with him.
Good. Depending on injuries and mileage, because
Oh shit! Remember they were tag team partners.
yes, they were. Yes, they were. But anyway, moving on. Like I was saying,
Oh, you know who just showed up at Impact?
who?
Black Taurus. That is a fucking
Fuck,
scary
Black Taurus?
outfit.
Damn.
Yeah. He's teaming with Rosemary and Crazy Steve.
Oh, so much crossover shit's happening. If that's going on, that means Black Taurus
I'm
is coming
looking
up
at it
from
right
AAA.
now.
We've already got AAA shit crossing over with AEW. That means we can see Black Taurus and some of the other gnarly ass luchadors show up in AEW in the future. Oh, things are looking up. It's good.
Will, contain your erection.
I'm trying, but
I can
no.
only get so erect.
I can only be so stoked about things, and
Dude,
you
he's
know,
about to beat the shit out of Caleb with a K.
good. Not because I don't like Caleb with a K, but because it's good. Do it.
That dude is fast. He's big and fast.
No shit.
He looks like he should be a member of fucking Guar.
He does, doesn't he?
That's why Will likes him.
Is he wearing the full-blown bull mask, or is he wearing the
Oh,
one
yeah.
that's like the half cut?
No, full blown, full long hair, the septum ring, everything.
Is he doing the
dude.
white head or the black head?
No, it's black. He's
Okay.
all black. All
'Cause he's
black,
done
all
one,
leather,
even though he
dirty.
doesn't have
Oh,
black
god
clothes, he's done
damn!
one with the black mask.
His fucking finisher is fucking gnarly, too. There's like a spinning brain buster. Driver or some shit.
Oh, Black Taurus is fucking beast, man.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. A beast. I mean, I got something to show you then. But, yeah, that's about as excited as you hear me most of the time. My voice doesn't change that much.
You talking about him specifically last week. That's the only reason I interrupted with it, because you were talking about him last week and, you know, wanting to see his gnarly mask in an AEW ring and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one step closer, buddy.
I know. It's like they're reading my mind, or I'm just
it's like they're listening to our fucking podcast.
One can only hope. It's just now they need to start, sending some more of those listeners back so we get things going. Let's see, I'll do this.
So what else we got? AEW. Oh, so check this out. For last week we had the wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Cruz, and they legit did get married last week. Congratulations to the new couple. But a couple things in that storyline there. Number one, Kip Sabian has been injured since that's fucking badass. Has been injured since December. He's been that's why we haven't seen him getting involved, getting into any physical things or anything like that, because he's been injured. So that's number one. The ceremony, we had Father James Mitchell, typical wrestling wedding, somebody hiding in a cake and Chuck Taylor doing his thing. But we saw Miro wearing the same outfit that he got married in WWE in his wedding there. So take a look back, the one that Roman Reigns interrupted. But you'll see that he's wearing the same exact outfit. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, he could have took it to Goodwill and let somebody else use it.
For me, the wedding was cheesy because, one, I knew it was going to be. 100%. I knew it was going to be cheesy as fuck. And it was. It was probably one of the worst wrestling weddings I've ever seen. The best part of it was the officiator.
Father James Mitchell. Well, the reason that being is that was their actual wedding ceremony. They were married legally earlier in the week, but they didn't have a ceremony. That's why there was no interruption during the ceremony, during the vows, as cheesy and dirty as they were to have and to grope, But that was their actual wedding ceremony, and then they said once COVID's over, they're actually going to have the reception.
Well, that's cool.
The thing that really got me was at the end when he goes, by the power vested in me by AEW, Dynamite, and Tony Khan.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
that
was Tony Khan.
You gotta give Tony his little spotlight again.
Something tells me Tony demanded that. Because if who I'm seeing in these fucking paid advertisements for fucking on Impact are any indication of the fucking man himself, he's a douche nozzle.
Like it's slowly becoming all about him. Make sure you say, Tony Khan, let me do this. Tony Khan, let me do that. Whatever. I have my rant for the day.
Well, back in the day, I used to work for a company, and there was, it was in the telecommunications field. And there was a particular actor, female actor, whenever we said her name, it was in her contract that we would have to call her the talented and then her name. It was in her contract that's how we had to reference her. Anytime we spoke about her, that's how we had to say it. So it wouldn't fucking surprise me if Tony Khan is behind that shit.
Let's talk about the Jade Cargill promo, which was a really fucking good package. Unfortunately, it was 6 months too fucking late.
they really shit the bed with her. Like, they should have used that promo they just dropped. That little fucking vignette they just
Here's
dropped.
Here's how you do it. This is how WWE done it for years. First promo, what they did, the weightlifting, showing her body, showing she's a fucking beast, so you get invested in her, and like, huh, this girl's gonna be interesting. Then you do the next week promo, where she's actually in the ring, beating the fuck out of some random jobber. Oh, hell, she looks like a legit badass. Then at least if she gets in the ring and sucks at her promo, or sucks in the ring, at least you kind of had some kind of excitement going into it.
She had a build.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called building a character, which is something this company doesn't know how to fucking do. 'Cause all they know how to do is fucking hot shot book from week to week. And it's just getting really... AEW, in reality, even though they have high points here and there, but it is one of the worst put-together programs I've ever seen in my life. Even Nitro in its worst was not this bad.
I'm gonna blame half of it, honestly, on the fact that they can't travel anymore. I feel like had all the bullshit we're going through right now not happened, we would have had more likelihood of slow builds and less like flash in the pan style action, because
they wasn't doing it when they had crowds.
They had only been around for like 6 months.
Still,
6 months.
It was just boom, 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 boom. It was like one week, one thing to the next. Nothing was continuous.
6 months.
I mean,
admittedly, yes, they could have done some things like that. But at the same time, you've got to hype train it a lot more than back in the day, because back in the day, we can't compare it fully to like WCW in its heyday against WWE, because WCW came off of a pedigree since it was the NWA transitioning into a new company after it was bought out. They already had a dedicated fan base that came with it and stayed with it out of loyalty and built it up from there, and they, had all of like the old work ethic, etc., etc., etc. You know what I'm going to go with the background behind it and how they build things, okay? Because I agree with you there with the build, it needs to be done. AEW, however, is fresh.
They weren't trying to bring in new fans. They were appealing to the fan base they already had.
Yeah. AEW is doing a little bit of both. The downside, they also don't have a pedigree to build on. They've got some people they got from other companies that were able to bring in fans with them. But at the same time, to get new people in, they've got to basically throw as many fucking weird-ass ideas as possible at the wall and see what sticks.
Spaghetti style.
Is it a good way to book and make a consistently high-performing show? Fuck no! And I'll be glad of the day when they're able to stop doing it all the time and do some legit proper builds and booking. Is it going to happen anytime soon? Probably not until they're able to get back on the road again and actually take the shows here and there, because since they're running completely off of ad revenue right now, generated from the televised angles and from whatever little bit they can get from pay-per-views, they're going to have to fucking hotshot it the whole time.
But look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Right before the pandemic, the crowds had started getting less and less and less and less. Because people, the pay-per-view sold out because, people would. But eventually that was going to run dry too. People weren't going to travel to the 4 pay-per-views a year. Eventually, they were going to be empty seats, just like the Dynamite tapings.
I mean, they'll figure it out, but as of right now, it's still they're starting year 2. You can't truly harp at them too hard for fucking up.
I just think it's Tony Khan. Because he
has
has
a small chance it
could be. And I don't think he's listening to the smart people in the room. The Arn Andersons, Tully Blanchard. Tully's just there to get a fucking check, in my opinion.
I'm very surprised about that.
Arn Anderson, I'd be I think Arn Anderson's kind of becoming a yes man. I don't think he's really pushing the button too much.
No.
Because the quality of stuff that he was putting out in WWE, I'm not seeing it here. If he's working as a backstage agent.
Well, he's yes-manning to Cody is what he's doing. I blame a lot of it on Cody as well.
That too.
I'm sure Cody has more say in it than Tony does, even though Tony runs the paychecks. But I still feel like it's too early to give up on them. I know they're fucking up and shitting the bed at times, but when they do it right, they do it right. It's
what they're doing right is
I'm not back there.
Spearheading this campaign with working together with organizations.
That's
what
the
they're
most
doing right.
important thing to me.
Right now, absolutely.
They are creating, basically, as I said, like way back when we first started the show, like right after AEW, or actually before Dynamite even came, right when AEW started as just a pay-per-view, like few pay-per-views, before they started their actual programming run. I said, like, I remember saying that, like, this is the beginning of basically a new territory era. It's just not as small and fragmented. It's going to be a few larger ones going up against one big one. And I said the smartest thing they can do is to start sharing talent and working together. And finally, after nearly 2 years, it's happened.
Yeah.
Baby steps. It's like everyone's finally realizing, fuck it, swallow your damn pride.
Yep.
And fucking put
Impact
on a show.
Wrestling right now going on behind me. We've already seen talent from AAA. We've seen Impact talent, and we've seen AEW talent in there. So, I mean...
But at the same time, they've buried the best heel tag team in the business. They've dropped the ball so many times with things. I'm afraid they're going to drop the ball with this.
It depends on who else.
You talk about FTR?
I'm talking about FTR. I'm talking about whoever comes in from New Japan to work. I'm afraid they're going to fuck it up. I'm afraid that if they do a Bullet Club Civil War, it will fuck up.
God. Hopefully. Apparently, when Kenny Omega showed up wearing the Halloween Kenny Omega shirt, he did not have permission to wear that. Apparently, they're gonna let it go because shirt sales went through the fucking roof afterwards. Mm-hmm. But he did that shit without permission. He just showed up wearing that shit.
It happens like that sometimes. It does.
I guess since we're about to run out of time with John, we need to transition over to the big debut.
What big debut?
Kenta.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking. Shit, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, I mean, it still goes with the cross-promotional thing because, you know, like you were saying with AEW and in New Japan, it's like we finally got that to happen. We've been talking about that for fucking ever.
Mm-hmm.
Really. And last week, to cap off Dynamite, which was a really fucking weird episode of Dynamite to where only the main event was good, Kenta shows up after the match and fucking does, sadly, the shittiest GTS ever.
Yeah,
and John Moxley should know better because he worked with Punk.
Yeah, and he was there at the same time that Kenta was there as
Tommy.
Tatami. But or Itami rather, not Tatami. Tatami's
Itami. Hideo Itami.
Yeah. So
the only thing I would have done different, they should have brought the briefcase.
I am going to say yes to that. The more I've thought about it since you mentioned it pre-show, yes, the briefcase should have come, and it should have been used to just knock the ever-living dog piss out.
Or even not use it, but hold it up afterwards, because they mentioned it in
But the casual viewer who doesn't keep up New Japan doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Doesn't know what the fuck it is.
So that briefcase says number one contender United States title. So it says what it is. So the casual viewer can look at it and go, oh, he's the guy challenging him for another belt. Oh, I get it now. Because in reality, the announcers rushed through it.
They did. I almost think like it was.
They were out of time.
Yeah, they were out of time. Secondly, if Kenta had the briefcase, I do believe he should have used it as a weapon because that has been his whole shtick the entire time he's had the briefcase. It makes perfect sense for him to continue that, continue riding that train, so to speak, and to bring it in and break that new case in over Moxley's head, but just tick it off. He's like, okay. First, Tanahashi ruins my first case. Now Moxley ruins my second case.
And if they're going to go this route, they were going to go the Bullet Club Civil War route. If they're going to do it smart, they need to have them like all acknowledging like they're all part of the group. And Kenta just kind of looks at them like, "Who the fuck are you guys? Where have you been?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you slowly bring. And if you can bring in the God, then they come in. Me personally, how I'd like to see it happen. I like to see Jay White versus Kenny, Kenta versus Moxley, let him take care of his thing. God versus the Good Brothers, really. Mm-hmm. We've kind of seen them in the Bucks.
Yeah.
I would rather see Fale. No, let me scratch that. Put God in the Bucks, Fale and Tokyo
Lance
Pimp.
Archer.
Tokyo Pimp or somebody with Anderson and Gallows, because you got Fale could be the big man to go against Gallows. It works out better that way. You can have Tokyo Pimp or Chase Owens, whoever you want to put in that second spot to work with, because hell, Fale's tagged with all of them.
It'll be easier to do Chase Owens since he worked stateside a lot.
Yeah. There you go. If you're going to do the Bullet Club Civil War, that way everybody's got an opponent.
Yeah.
And I would like to see the Jay White Kenny Omega match. I think that would go over well in the States.
What I would also like to see, let's do it this way. Let's get ELP and Bone Soldier versus the Bucks.
That'd be good too.
Because ELP does perform with New Japan USA.
Well, then if that's the case, you could put God with Gallows and Anderson. I think it'd still have a good match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that God is going to carry that match because.
You could have Fale as the bodyguard.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's going to be good if they do it the right way. I mean, how they're going to do it, I'm not 100% sure on the best way. I like the idea that it's almost like a slight opening of the door to kind of bring some back into the fold of Bullet Club since Kenta's teaming with Kenny. But what would be smarter is right after the match, if Kenta, cold cocks Kenny with a GTS or a briefcase or something like that too.
Well, they already started that angle because last week after the show went off the air, Kenny went up to Kenta, tried to too sweet him, and Kenta basically told him to fuck off.
Yep, I'd heard about that, but I hadn't seen it. So hopefully, what happens is it's a tenuous relationship for sure. So fingers crossed, it turns into something that could lead into some nice stuff. You could bring all that shit talking that Tama does all of the time about former Bullet Club members. It would be a nice, tie a bow on it, bring it all together. Mm-hmm. Former Bullet Club versus current Bullet Club, which is superior. You could do it like that. That way, it's not even a Bullet Club Civil War so much as a,
NWO White versus NWO Red.
Yeah. That would be a bit too on the nose. But if you've got former members versus modern members to see who's best, so that way they finally have bragging rights over one or the other. And then
just have them break off and call themselves the Elite.
They already did that.
They already do that.
Well, they're not really pushing it, though. It's just kind of a...
Yeah.
To me, it's more like a fun gimmick for them. Oh, it's those guys. Ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be a different thing entirely, but now, it has transitioned into what you're saying. Early on, it was a legit, near sub-faction within Bullet Club of just the Bucks and Kenny being the Elite. But now...
But if they're going to do that, you got to think about Hangman, too. He was a member. He just kind of left out
he
there.
doesn't want anything to do with that, though. He said, I've done my thing as part of a group. It didn't work, so then they wouldn't.
Hangman's done with that. Cody's not going to be a part of it either because Cody's too busy,
Nightmare Family
up his own ass and
coming out his special entrance ramp,
inhaling champagne glasses of fart. As much as I enjoy Cody, it's just like, to me, his work is getting more and more complacent every time he gets in the ring.
It's not in his mind.
That's not to him, no, but every one of his matches is the same fucking formula almost the entire time.
He really hasn't had a good match since Dustin.
No, he hasn't. No, he really hasn't. There's been a couple that almost get there, but most of them,
Well, he killed himself with me when he was going 20, 25 minutes with guys half his size.
That can be done and can be done in a believable fashion, but I just, Cody matches, for real, there aren't many people whose matches have put me to sleep.
He's almost turned into a Kevin Nash.
Oh, no. You're right.
6
Oh,
moves.
wow.
6 moves. Think about it. Outside of that cage match spot, he does that little drop down fist thing.
Yep. He does the drop punch. He does.
He did break both of his big toes on that cage spot, though.
He did. But, you can't really use that as, a reason why he's not doing anything in the ring anymore. It's 2 broken toes.
Big toes.
It's 2 broken toes. He does the drop punch. He does the Cody Cutter. He does his little, kick thing, whatever the fuck it is. His little disaster kick. The crossroads. And then, what's the last one? Weatherman?
I'm trying to think.
It's like right there on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it.
I think that comes before Crossroads.
I'm just going to say it's the taking off of the weight belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of near falls.
Yeah. It's like every Cody match. If it doesn't have those 5 or 6 things, it's not a Cody match, or it's a good match. Plain and simple. It's like every Cody match now, you could probably build a Cody match with a fucking 6-sided die. I could roll the fucking dice 5 or 6 times and build a Cody match.
And now too, it's just since he did that thing where I'll never challenge for the world title. To me, that just killed him.
It definitely took away some of his luster.
Give it some time. They'll do something, but he needs to fucking mix his shit up and get fresh again because his matches are boring as fuck. And I feel like if they're going to do, like I said, if all these crossovers are going to happen, they need to get him mixed up with some talent that he doesn't normally compete against. Put him up against...
Did he wrestle Tanahashi?
I feel like maybe. I'm gonna say a hard maybe. I'm not gonna say yes. I think he would be better served to go up against someone from AAA. Someone with a totally different wrestling style. More so than Japanese style.
I don't know AAA, 'cause that's just that's a spot show.
Again, he needs something changed up. And it's not 100% a spot show. There's a lot. It's lucha. But at the same time, he needs something to make him actually do something in the ring. Because again, boring as hell. But to really rein it back in, like we were saying, it's like there's so many crossover opportunities now with those 4 companies. It's ridiculous. And next thing you know, we already know New Japan has a working relationship with CMLL. What are the odds that CMLL is going to get in the mix too?
Very, very likely. And
So
they got that working relationship.
Yeah, and then possibly even if we go so far as to think about some of the UK promotions that New Japan works with, they could get Rev Pro in the mix. Then you've got Rev Pro, CMLL, AAA, fucking NWA, Impact, AEW.
NWA is already part of that, though.
I know. That's why I was going through the whole list listing everybody. All those companies working together. That's like 7 or 8 companies right there trading back and forth. And just one final thing about all these things, and to bring up one more, prima donna that really needs to get his shit together. Fuck Nick Aldis. That fucking douchebag. I don't want to work with anybody. I'm out to promote the NWA. You're not promoting shit right now. You're sitting on your ass. Thunder Rosa's done more for the NWA in the past year than you've done. Fucking piece of shit.
You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right, because Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb are making that company fucking... They're making them still relevant.
Yeah.
Nick Aldis isn't making them relevant because he's not doing anything.
Nick Aldis is up his own ass. He's as bad as Cody. Like Nick Aldis
James's ass.
Let's say what?
He's up Mickey James's ass.
Either way. But I mean, basically he's come out and said, I'm not defending my title anywhere but on NWA. It's like, then you're not doing your fucking job. The NWA champion is supposed to travel and defend.
That was the way it worked back in the day. You traveled the world. You traveled the world and defended it.
Yeah. Nick Aldis travels from fucking his house to a TV studio and back. Ooh, world traveler. Fucking garbage dick motherfucker.
Garbage dick.
But yeah, I could say my displeasure with Nick Aldis and his ways. Like, when he works, he's good in the ring. I will give him credit for that. But he doesn't deserve the ego that he's got right now.
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't work. Someone else needs that fucking belt that will actually do the work. I mean, yes, he technically can't travel the world right now. There's restrictions. But there's ways that people have been working inter-company, like through the different companies since all this has happened. And he can make it happen. But he refuses to do so because he wants to call all the shots for the NWA title. That's it. But, other than the fun of cross-promotion work and all of that shit that could come from it, do we have anything else pertinent to go over, gentlemen?
No, I don't. We got a stack card that we talked about earlier with AEW for tomorrow night.
Oh, tomorrow night's going to be
good. This weekend, we do have an NXT pay-per-view. NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Mm-hmm. And there's an ongoing storyline with Johnny Gargano versus
Kushida
for the North American
Kushida
title.
Win so fucking bad.
Well, they're teasing that the match might not happen now.
Oh, motherfucker!
So tomorrow night, Austin Theory is going to fight Kushida, but he's saying that Austin Theory is saying that Johnny Gargano is not going to be at TakeOver. So I don't know what they're playing out there. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, if it's an NXT pay-per-view, it has a high likelihood to just be a fucking barn burner. But all I can say about it in total is I hope that match happens, and I hope Kushida beats the ever-living shit out of Johnny Gargano. And
I don't know, but NXT's been sucking pretty bad here lately.
I want Kushida to get a rub. Fuck anything else that happens in NXT other than, good things for Finn Balor and the Undisputed Era, but I want Kushida to get a rub. I thought the worst thing he ever did with his career was go into WWE. I want him to do good, so I want them to not fuck up, and I want him to get the rub. Plain and simple.
I don't see them giving him the belt right now because Gargano he's kind of their golden boy with, with staying in it. Like, they've talked about bringing him up to the main roster so many times, but they keep bringing him back and keeping him because he's a solid worker.
Yeah. I mean, Kushida's a solid worker too. They need to give him a chance, is what I'm saying. It's like, Gargano's going to be over no matter what. Give Gargano a shot at another belt. Let Kushida get this one for a little while. Okay? Make it into an ongoing story. Continue their little rivalry. Trade back and forth a few times if you need to. But, I want Kushida to do well. Mm-hmm. Enough said. But, well, you want to take us out, John? Call it a night? Since
Absolutely. Want to thank everyone once again for hanging out with us on the Post to Post Wrestling Podcast. I'm Drummer John, one half of the Brothers of Discussion. Will has been with us along with Alexander Weatherman. Want to give a quick shout out to our real sponsor and the Polar. Make sure you guys check out their podcast. Go to Apple Music. Check out their music. Great bunch of guys. Falcon is the one responsible for making this show sound coherent. So big up to Falcon. Thank you so much for all your hard work, buddy. Yeah, dude. Looking forward to another great week of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Peace out. Yeah.
Take it easy, buddy.
Later.
See you next time.
Yay.
All right,
gentlemen.